Hey, what's up, everybody? Crapgamer here. Crapgamer reviews, obviously. I had a little bit of time, finished up early, and so I wanted to do a video about some interesting topics that kind of came up over the last couple of days. And I figured, hey, why not combine the two and talk about them here? I've actually linked the one with the Game Pass subscriber count in the description below that you guys are free to kind of check out as you guys start to come in. Please like and share it out. Sometimes YouTube doesn't do a good job of doing that. So if you guys wouldn't mind sharing it out, I would really appreciate it. The thing is this, right? I enjoy doing these videos. I think the last couple weeks I've done one on Monday, and I've had a good time with that. So if I have time, Monday seems like a good day that I can get done with my other job early and come and do a little live stream and talk with you guys. And I think it's important to kind of touch base with the fans and keep everybody abreast of the new situations and things like that. And these long form videos, I can actually get a lot more information out than what I normally would. So, for me, I don't really push a lot of, when it comes to a lot of this stuff, I don't really push the narrative of the sales thing. Now, this is where the sales sort of matter. Sales matter if you need a certain amount to continue on something or to get a sequel to something or to continue on with your consoles, right? So whenever people go, well, sales don't matter at all, I always kind of shake my head and go, well, if that were true, then wouldn't we have gotten a Dreamcast 2 or something along those lines? Like, that's always my point of contention is, hey, how come, I think that sales don't matter per se. Like, it doesn't matter who's one or two. Like, McDonald's versus Burger King's, the sales matter. They're both selling a ton, so it doesn't really matter. I think when it comes to video games and software, obviously it matters. Or movies, right? If people don't go watch a movie, you're not going to get a sequel to that movie, and maybe that's going to bum you out or whatever. And that's a little bit disappointing in my opinion. So, sort of with that being said, what was really interesting was Remedy Entertainment, who, as you guys know, did Quantum Break and they did Alan Wake, and they're making the new game Control. And you guys all know who they are. They're a fantastic developer. They do a lot of the great story driven. They did Max Payne, the first two. Really cool developer. As you guys get in here, please like it and share it out. I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys all coming out here just to do a video about this. So anyway, yeah, like I said, it was kind of funny to me because there is this Remedy Entertainment, and they did some kind of like PowerPoint presentation, okay? And in this PowerPoint presentation, they show off their market focus. I would guess that in this presentation, they're actually trying to go out there and get some sort of backing for something. This could be it, because it says Remedy's broad market focus, and then it has PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, PC, stuff like that. Now, here's the funny part, because this was from a couple months ago, and I guess it's just starting to make the round. Somebody took a screenshot of this. It says PlayStation 4 install base 91 million units. So that's pretty incredible. And it says Xbox One install base is 41 million units. And then it says Nintendo Switch install base 29 million units. So obviously this is from a handful of months ago, 4 to 6 months ago, something along those lines. And they had, because I believe that Nintendo just came out and that, what they say, they're at 37 million or whatever. So, they're at obviously a little bit higher number than that. Now, it wouldn't be unfathomable to think that the Xbox One could be at 44 million or 45 million with this, considering that PlayStation 4 is also at 97 million now. So they actually did come out there and say, hey, we are at this number or whatever. This isn't a mooch and crap thing. This is just a crap live stream. I do these sometimes on Mondays when I have time. If you guys come in, if you're just watching, please like and share it out. I would really appreciate that. We're all gearing up for E3. I think it's going to be incredible. But what I wanted to do was talk about something that I saw, which was this slide. And it's one of those things that a lot of people don't want to talk about, when it comes to sales or whatever. I guess if there were 45 million Xbox One sold, that's better than a lot of people thought. Is it better than I thought? No. I mean, I really thought that it was, probably between 38 and 45 million, something along those lines, 38 to 48 million. If I had to give a broader kind of scope, I thought it would be in between there. And I do think that it's important to point out that, like I said, Microsoft is doing fine. Xbox is doing fine. I'm not going to bash that number because I think where they came from to start this generation, especially, they've done all they can to, come back and fight the good fight. And I think that that's something that, they should get some credit for. It's very, very tough to come back from what they did. And granted, a lot of it was self-inflicted, guys. Most of it, in fact. So keep that in mind as we kind of go forward, that, Microsoft has a long way to go, even into next generation, if there is a sort of a next generation. But I think that what this really does show is that people really, really weren't expecting Microsoft to do much, and the fact that they're 50 million behind, which obviously the console war is over. And I've been saying this for a while. There are no more console wars. There's just content wars. And whether people agree with me or not, that's just the truth. Like, there's going to be multiple ways to get your content from these particular people. You're not going to be able to get content from a PlayStation or an Xbox, though, or Xbox on a PlayStation. So it does come down to where you want to get your content. And a lot of people, unfortunately, if you're Microsoft, look at Microsoft as one of the lesser content creators. So they have a lot to prove, that negative stigma. They have to kind of get rid of that. And I feel like they can do that, but it's going to take some real hits and some real bangers on their part. And that's just something that I feel like they're going to have to get out of the way sooner rather than later. And hopefully they can actually do that. Let me see. You can count around extra sales per month. Oh, an Xbox crap. Let's see. They didn't do anything. Well, hold on. Let's see. Gears 5. I saw the Gears 5 thing. 9 Live says crap. Sales don't matter. Listen, like I was saying, I don't think sales matter per se. I just think that sales matter in a way, sales matter in a specific way where you can only get a certain amount of things. So if sales don't matter, then we wouldn't get sequels to games that do extremely well. So that's my only point. If some, let's just say, okay, since we're using Remedy here, because this is Remedy's slide, okay? Remedy did Quantum Break. A lot of people like Quantum Break. I like Quantum Break. Now, they could have done some amazing things with the sequel, right? The problem is nobody bought it. Now, if it would have sold better, we would have got a sequel. And I know not every game needs a sequel, right? But Microsoft, being the big conglomerate that they are, tend to really take little chances. They don't take a lot of chances with their money, meaning games that could potentially be good, like Recore, right? If you would have sunk a 5-year development period into that, a good developing team, a great engine instead of the Unity engine, that had potential. Instead, they sink like $200,000 into it and let a small studio make it and rush it out unfinished, basically. That's not the way you make a good game. That's not the way you cultivate an IP. So, with that being said, the future seems like it's going to be very bright for Microsoft because they're going to be able to rectify a lot of those issues. And I think that's very important going forward. And seeing that there's 41 million sold probably, half a year ago or 4 months ago, I think that makes people go, oh, you know what? It's not so bad. When you're 6 years into a generation and you're at that 30 million mark still, that seems very bad. Yes, Xbox technically will lose this generation in third place, but at the end of the day, Microsoft is happy with what they're doing. And I guess a lot of the fans are too. I would love to see them sell a ton more consoles because I prefer to play just against the other console people. But Microsoft seems to be genuinely happy with being able to do stuff on, the PC side or the phone side or whatever that is as well. So if you think 41 to 45 million consoles, that's pretty respectable. Now, when you look at the Xbox 360, supposedly 83 to 85 million of those sold. We don't know what impact the Red Ring of Death had on there, but there's no doubt that the Xbox 360 was a monster and sold extremely well. The PS3 ended up able to catch up towards the end of the generation, and that's props to Sony. They put out a lot of incredible exclusives on that, and that's what I thought Microsoft would do this generation, right? I was like, well, this is going to pay off for us because we're going to get a ton of exclusives to end the generation. And that didn't end up happening, but they did give us a more powerful console and some pretty cool stuff. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get something good to end off the generation. I'm very hopeful. Whether or not Microsoft actually ends the generation the way we know it, I don't know, because it looks like they're going to support the Xbox One and S and X for years to come, maybe even with forward compatibility. So, that's going to be interesting to see exactly if that works. Yes, 41 million Noi Noi Choi says, okay, so if you guys are just joining me, over 200 now, please like, share it out. So basically what happened is there's this slide of Remedy Entertainment going around, okay? And this slide shows their focal group of who they're going after. Now, this slide is obviously, I would say, anywhere between 4 and 6 months old, okay? In this slide, it says they're going after PS4 because it has 91 million install base, right? And that's why I say that this is probably 4 to 6 months old, because we know Sony has updated their numbers to like 97 million sold or whatever. So probably 4 to 6 months old. So they had the PS4 at 91 million install base. They had the Xbox One at 41 million, and they had the Switch at 29 million. So basically the PS4 has gone up, that 6 point something million. The Switch has gone up that 7 million. It's not unfathomable to think that the Xbox One has gone up, 4 million or 5. You know what I'm saying? They could easily be at that higher threshold than what most people think. And I think that that's something that would be very cool to see, just going forward as fans, like if we continue to see, growth like that, it would be a very good thing for Xbox. It'd be a very good thing for the fans to see. We all want to see Xbox succeed and do some incredible stuff. So to see that happen, I think is really, really fast, is really, really incredible and really unexpected, and hopefully we continue to see that kind of growth from Microsoft. And even though these numbers aren't 100% official, a developer like that would have a very good idea about what we're going to be getting in terms of sales, and because they're the ones talking with these people. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So I think that's very close and probably pretty good numbers. 50 more million PS4s is very much a difficult thing to pill to swallow coming off a last generation. And even if you think, let's just go by 45 million. Let's say Xbox One has 45 million sold, right? 6 years in, that's not an incredibly large amount of numbers, but it's still respectable after what happened. And people have to keep that in mind as well, because it's not an easy thing to deal with. If you're Microsoft, you're just sitting there thinking, well, we kind of did screw ourselves over a little bit. We did the TV thing. We did the always online thing. Like, these are things that you have to be very careful of. And you have to make sure that as a company, you have to be in tune to what the gamers want, and gaming is very fickle. So you have to be able to sort of cater to that type of demographic, and I think that's very, very important going forward. So supposedly 41 million Xbox One sold. That's not an incredibly large amount, but it's probably more than what most people said. And like I said, it does seem pretty accurate, because it does have the Nintendo Switch and PS4 numbers of 4 to 6 months ago, because that was at 29 million and 91 million respectively. And so now it does seem like Microsoft is very much in the mix, 41 to 45 million, but it was at 41 million, not too long ago. So that's, one of those things. I mean, we're gonna have to deal with that. People are gonna hate on that or whatever. I don't think it's terrible numbers. I think that those are fair numbers. And if you guys are just joining me, please like, share, and subscribe. King LB says backwards compatibility gets PS5 at least half PS4. Look, PS5 is going to be a really good machine as well. Like, if you guys like if you guys really like the PlayStation, then you're going to be safe there. You're going to be safe going there and buying that. So, I think that that's fine. I'm going to get a PlayStation 5 as well. So, but I'm definitely looks like I'm going to be getting an Anaconda. So, I wish that the Anaconda or that the PS5 would have been backwards compatible with the PlayStation 3 as well. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So that is a little bit of a bummer. But hey, you know what I mean? I do think that that's it's going to be fun to sort of kind of talk about that. Now, what I wanted to talk about a little bit more as well was the actual Game Pass accounts. Basically, according to this anyway, which I linked this in the description. So here's what they're talking about. Microsoft recently unveiled Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which combines Xbox Live Gold with Xbox Game Pass for $14.99 monthly. This deal was also predicted by the source, who suggested that the service could be ready to go live immediately. And this source was Brad Sams, by the way, but would also allow for data streaming when the time comes for the Scarlet in a generation. Now, while Microsoft has not revealed their exact subscriber number for Game Pass, we have learned that there are currently some 9.5 million monthly users. Game Pass is an attractive proposition for publishers and developers because Microsoft pays out to developers each time a game is installed. It has become hugely valuable to small independents in particular, who now find themselves with a regular income and a strong community. The deal is similar beneficial to Microsoft, which doesn't need to worry about disc manufacture and only takes a royalty cut from games that have been installed, with several games added each week. We understand that Game Pass accounts for an impressive percentage of Xbox revenue, and according to this source, this is a major factor in the Scarlet equation. It's a service that Sony cannot rival with the PlayStation 5, and combined with xCloud, puts Microsoft in a very strong position against Google, Amazon, and the PS5. We are told focus for Sony is hardware first and foremost, a powerful physical console. For Scarlet, Microsoft is putting forward the notion of a next gen platform playable anywhere. So, according to this, 9.5 million monthly users on Xbox Game Pass, and like I said, I linked this, and you guys can check that out if you want, because it's actually quite a long, sort of a long article going into details about a lot of the rumors and leaks of the Xbox and PlayStation. And I feel like, you know, it's one of those things where that could be very plausible, because when you think about why I'm saying that this could be very plausible. Okay. So if you look at the numbers that Microsoft announced for stuff like Sea of Thieves players or State of Decay 2 players, what is it, like 6 million, 8 million? I don't think that the sales for these games are particularly that high, but I think that a good number of people who actually play Game Pass actually have played the games. And so I think that that's something that's going to continue to help them out and things like that. Sully says, here, listening to you on my lunch break. Hey, there's Sully. Max Gaming out. Don't worry, I'll recap this as well. The Finest says, crap, I'm excited about E3. Lots of games to see. Hey, man, it's all about the games, man. I'm very, very excited to see the games. Hey, as you guys join in, please like and share out. If you guys enjoy the Monday streams, I've been doing this for a couple of weeks because it seems like the day that I get off earliest. You know, so it's going to be interesting. Penguin says, Brad Sams also said their figure of 9.5 million was a load of crap in his recent videos. I don't really know if that's true or not, but I think that it's pretty accurate to say that there's probably more than the 3 million that most people speculate. Like I said, aside from Sully, who's out there buying State of Decay 2 for there to be 6 million players on that, right? So that's where I'm saying it looks like we could be seeing an influx of people playing this stuff with Game Pass, and that's strictly my point. I know that a lot of people might disagree with that or whatever, and I think that's fine. I just think that it's one of those things where that number makes sense, but it does seem like it could be a little bit high, and they are saying that it's sourced. So anytime you see something that's quote unquote sourced, it means that take it with a grain of salt, because it might not be accurate. But again, I do think that they have an impressive idea. Now, here's the other thing that this article sort of alludes to, which I've talked to a little bit in the past. Okay, Xbox Scarlet isn't an Xbox in and of itself. It's a code name for their umbrella of platforms. Okay, xCloud, Anaconda, Lockhart. Okay, and basically, what we're going to get is a subsidized box, which means thanks to Game Pass subscribers, they can afford to take less of a hit on the actual hardware itself, because people are going to subscribe to Game Pass, meaning we are going to end up paying less for our boxes because they're going to recoup the cost with Game Pass, and that's their idea. This was always the thing behind Xbox Live Gold as well, right? If you look at the original Xbox, that thing was this big thing that they took a huge loss on with everyone sold. I think it was hundreds of dollars in losses for everyone sold. And Then they had this brilliant idea to charge people to play online, and they recouped that cost. And that's basically because, think about it, okay? The last figures that we've had for Xbox Live was over 2 billion a year, right? 2 billion plus annually. You know what I mean? So that's one of those things that I think people forget about, okay? Is Xbox Live makes Microsoft so much damn money. They have no intentions to ever stopping that. And that's why makes it worthwhile to continue the Xbox brand, right? So you have the Xbox brand, and then you have Xbox Live Gold, and I think that that's something that people forget about. Okay, so Gold and the Xbox console go hand in hand. We're the only ones paying for that, and if it's making them 2.5, 3 billion annually, then that's cheaper. I mean, they're still making money even when creating a new console. Because think about it, 2.5 billion. Let's say 2.5 billion for Xbox Live annually, and remember how much Microsoft said they spent on development of the Xbox One with the games, 1 billion. So there's still a 1.5 billion barrier there. And I know I don't want to talk numbers and stuff like that, but they're still making a ton of money off of this stuff. So it behooves them to actually be able to continue to make consoles and keep these consoles going and things like that. I think it makes a lot of sense for them to continue doing it, just because I think they would get a lot of backlash if they ever decided not to do it. And so I'm actually glad that they continue to do that and keep pushing the hey Mag Day, I agree that a brilliant idea would be not to charge for games online. Let's see. Low End Average Gaming says, I know this is a gaming podcast, but if you haven't seen it yet, check out the Star Wars Reimagined. I saw it, dude. It was really cool, man. It was brilliant. I thought it was awesome. Let's see who else. The Anaconda could be $400 at retail, but Microsoft $500 to $600 to manufacture. That's what I'm saying, because you're subsidizing the cost, right? You're subsidizing the cost, and that saves us money. And I know a lot of people are, excited about E3. I'm excited about E3. I think this E3 is going to be one for the ages. I think they are really going to come out there and nail it. Let's see. Lanesville Paul says, Crap, do you really think the next Xbox is going to outsell the PS5, or Microsoft has a better chance of competing? I don't think it's going to outsell the PS5. I think that Microsoft is going to be able to compete because they're going to be available everywhere, right? So, it is one of those things where I think Microsoft can compete. So I really do think that it's going to be fun to see how this kind of plays out. We're not going to see any more numbers from Microsoft. So any kind of leaks that we get like this, like, Game Pass is at 9.5 million. I don't know if that's 100% true, but they're saying, this site is saying it is, and it's accounting for a lot of Microsoft's improved revenue. Now, if you go and look at their revenue recently, since they've been doing the first party stuff in Game Pass, it's steadily increased, and their Xbox Live users have increased and things like that. So obviously and Phil Spencer did say millions of people are subscribed to it. So that is, something that I take wholeheartedly as that. Besides that, look at stuff, and I hate to do this, Sully. State of Decay 2, okay? They said 6 million users on that piece of crap game. But nobody bought that game. I mean, yeah, it did well 1 month on NPD and then disappeared, okay? So if you did the math, it did something like 275,000 units on NPD the first month in the US. And then after that, fell off the map. I think it went into number 20 the second month or something like that. So it didn't do incredibly well in the physical sales realm. Maybe people bought it digitally. I don't know. But Game Pass, I think, is where probably most people played it. And that makes a lot of sense. It's a game that's like a double A. The first one kind of surprised people. Excuse me. Now, here's the thing. I'm not trying to take anything away from it, because I feel like the game probably sold over 1 million, like worldwide. But I think probably if it's at 6 million players that have ever played that game, I think probably 5 million or 4.5 million are Game Pass users, and the rest were probably people that bought the game. And so I think that's kind of making up the difference there. Plus, if it's 4.5 million that have played it in Game Pass, That's not all of Game Pass, right? I doubt all of Game Pass was like, hey, let me go play State of Decay 2, because not everybody likes zombie simulators. So you have to keep that in mind. And at the same time, same thing with like Crackdown 3. Like I had heard the Crackdown 3 numbers were very impressive for Microsoft and they were happy with them, so much so that they might buy the studio and make a sequel. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But even something like Sea of Thieves, which is like a games as a service situation, really does them well to do something like a Game Pass situation. I like that as well. Gunstar says, just because you dislike State of Decay 2 doesn't mean it's trash. Come on, man. Listen, I get that people like it, right? And we all have difference of opinions. It's just my opinion, man. And here's the thing. I don't even hate State of Decay 2. I just think it's a missed opportunity for Microsoft, because we were told AAA game all the way, and we were told we were going to be able to play multiplayer, play co-op with our friends. And the way that they did the co-op was very disappointing. Okay, where I can't do first of all, the story aspect is disappointing. There is no story. It's just these little dailies and little quests that come up, right? That's not a game. That's like the first one had story-based achievements and a story. This one just is like questing, and I didn't like it as much. So sorry if you disagree. Listen, if you like it, I think that's fine. I joke around with Sully all the time about it because he loves the game. He's got like 1,000 hours into it. That's fine. I'm just saying that game would have served better if they allowed you to progress a story by playing with your friends, putting it on servers, and releasing it with less bugs and issues than what it actually had. You know what I'm saying? To be fair, that's what I was saying. And maybe the third one will be the charm, okay? Because Microsoft, there's no excuse anymore, right? Like Microsoft is investing heavily into that studio. They own the studio. What more can be said, right? So if you guys are here, please like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, see, Sully is like, no worries, crap. I don't get mad at you over opinions. Exactly. That's my point, man. That's my point. Crap. Why don't Xbox allow direct to YouTube streaming? I heard it was a problem between Microsoft and Google. So I think that's the reason why. Like I heard that there was going to be that somewhere along the line, but I don't think that it's ever going to be fixed. I don't think Google and Microsoft get along. So, hey, can we get over 100 likes? I would really appreciate it. The first State of Decay was way better. Here's why I think the first State of Decay was better, even though it was a bit of a mess too. It was this indie game. It was an arcade game. It was fun. We hadn't really seen much like it. They put out so much content for it, and it was super cheap. I just think that it was one of those like kind of fun things to look at or whatever, and you play it, and and this one, they were like, hey, it's AAA and it's going to be great. And it's going to be, a game that you're going to play with your friends, because we heard you loud and clear. You guys want to play with your friends. And so far, we haven't really been able to play, like I tried playing with friends and it didn't work out right, so hopefully they actually continue to do that. Gadang says, imagine the Division-like graphic, cloud service, story-driven, along with Radiant Quest. That's what I've heard from the rumor mill, though I do have screenshots of new things coming State of Decay. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, Sully. Something with great graphics, right? Story-driven narrative that you play with your friends, and you can progress your story with your friends. Like if I play the Division with you, Gadang, my story is going to progress with you, right? That makes sense. That's how things are supposed to be. The fact that they don't allow that and there's not really a story to begin with, I think that's a bit of a problem. So yeah, what's going on? It's Xbot 448. My fellow captain, Captain Crap, by the way. If you guys missed it, I did a live stream on Sea of Thieves with Mooch and the Don and Xbot, and I am Captain Crap and I sell cereal. So yeah, but nobody wants to buy it. So I don't know why. I don't know. So let's see. Penguin says, is Microsoft's going to give all those AA studios they bought AAA budgets, or are they sticking to making AA game? That's what I want to know. So anyway, Penguin, and I'm going to try to explain this the way that I understand it. So Microsoft is hands off with these studios, but they do have much more budgets and things like that. AAA game basically has to do with the budget involved, the marketing and things like that. So it's very easy to tell a AAA game from a AA game AAA game, Gears of War, Uncharted, God of War, Halo. Those are AAA games. Zelda, Mario, AAA games. Now, AA games, that's something like a Recore, a Knack 2. Like those are like those AA games. And I feel like, okay, you could also say like State of Decay 2, that's a AA game. Some might even say Sea of Thieves was a AA game. I tend to look at it as a AAA, especially now there's so much content, which, by the way, if you guys haven't played Sea of Thieves, that new stuff, whoo, man, that game is, if that game had what it has now when it launched, that game would be probably an 80 Metacritic, if not more. So that is what I'm talking about. That is what I wanted like all along, because you can have fun with that game with your friends, having a drink, just having a good time. But now there's actual stuff to do. There's actual stuff to do in that game. You go underwater in these caves and crap, and they showed it. And then there's these puzzles, and I was like, holy crap. You know, and I love it. And it was just so exciting. You know what I mean? So Emperor, look, I'm not the guy to really explain this Sea of Thieves thing, but I'm definitely going back to Sea of Thieves, and I'm definitely playing it more. I would say it's single player quests, but it's not so much single player. Like I think it's better to play it with your friends. Okay. Like Xbot was right. What they've done with this game is just incredible. Like we had 4 people with 4 different personalities. My personality is I'm sitting there drinking and eating worms and throwing up on people. And next thing you know, we're going to this place underwater and we're just having fun doing this stuff. It's great. I loved it. I thought it was absolutely incredible. So I get that people don't like it, but for me, if you haven't tried it, try it because it's really good now. Craig E3 says, Crap Gamer Phil has got to lift that we don't dictate how games should look thing. That should be a start. Well, here's the thing. So In Exile is probably the studio I have the least amount of faith in. They do stuff like Wasteland and Bard's Tale. I'm really not interested in either of those. I have Wasteland 2. I didn't like it. Those isometric, like PC top-down style RPGs, those aren't my thing. So for me, like I have the least amount of faith in them. I don't want more of those games but I do feel like Microsoft wants AA studios to release games every 2 years like clockwork so that they can have stuff to put in Game Pass. And I feel like that's a bit of a mistake. Like I get that we're going to have, great game. We're going to have like Gears and Forza. I got to tell you this, right? Gears is looking incredible from what we're seeing. I can't wait to see more. And Xbot in the chat. Hey, look, we got Mooch in the chat as well. He says the stream was great. That's how the game should have been when it launched. That's exactly how it should have been as it launched. Hey, everybody, hit that like button because we got Xbot, Mooch, good dang. Everybody in the chat, man, like it. Let's get over 100. Let's see what we can get going here on a Monday afternoon impromptu session. Yeah, that game is just so much fun now. Like the game itself, like you don't have to have 4 drunk friends to play it and to have fun. The content is there now. They're actually doing what they're supposed to do. And I feel like that game itself is just really, really incredible. Okay. Yeah. The Coke commercial that I was taking a drink, right? And I have this tumbler. I don't know if you guys know what these are, especially in Florida. These are big. You see everybody carry these tumblers, right? They keep your ice cold and your drinks cold. And they have this little lid that slides back and you're drinking it. So I had this ice cold Diet Pepsi, man, and it was in there, and I was just taking this drink, man. It just was so refreshing, but it makes it sound like I'm drowning in something, right? And so I was like, it's so good, you know what I mean? And it was just like a funny clip, man. I was eating some chips on stream, and we just have a good time, man. If you guys have never seen Mooch and Crap stream, and Xbot and the Don, by the way, was shooting himself out of a cannon, and it was just one of the funnier things, man. It was really, that's what it's all about, I got to be honest, man, the social media stuff, any kind of drama stuff, that all stuff takes a back seat. Just the fun of gaming. Sometimes you forget how much fun it is to go out there and just have fun with your buds and play some games, and I realize that, as I get older and have less time, just how important that stuff is because, I have such a good time with it. So, Yeah, if you guys haven't tried Sea of Thieves, we gave a copy away, by the way. But if you haven't tried it, I suggest you play it, get some Game Pass or something. It's definitely well worth it, and give it a second chance. Play it with some friends. Maybe you and some friends can play it and have a good time with it. I think that you'd be surprised at how good it is, especially if you like that type of game. I've always enjoyed it, but now I think it's an actual good game. Okay, not just for me, but for a lot of people, I think it's an actual good game, and that's what I'm very excited about in terms of what they've been able to accomplish with the game. Um, you know, it's just one of those things. So, with that being said, I really enjoy that. Microsoft should have let Rare have an extra year development time, and CFTs could have released similar to how it is now. Well, here's the thing. They know what people want now because just basically because people have give them feedback and they've listened to the phishing, all that kind of stuff. This is all feedback that they've given. Okay, without us being able to play it first, it's a catch-22. Although there was the preview program version of it and stuff like that, I feel like they I just feel like that they didn't give enough feedback, and I feel like that's a bit of a bad thing. So hopefully they continue to improve this game, and I'm very excited. And I and I feel like it's a really good game for the first time, like a really good game. Like play it and you'll see. That's exactly what I want people to do. Play it for yourself. If you didn't like it the first time you played it when it launched, and I don't blame you, play it now. Play it now. That's what I would say. Mooch, I think, is working or something, so I don't think he's going to be joining me right now. Rare should go back to Nintendo where they belong. I think Nintendo is good without Rare. Nintendo has Retro Studios. They do a good job. They do a lot of things. You know what I mean? Let's see what happened to. I don't know about the Eli Roth horror games. That aspartame in those diet drinks going to be the end of you crap. Try to avoid it. Well, I mean, I drink a little bit of Diet Pepsi, but I drink a good mix of everything. My girl has got me drinking water all the time. So like in the evenings and stuff like that, I do partake in some Diet Pepsi. I'm not going to lie. So that's ginger ale though. So yeah. And I'm actually feeling pretty good. I know a lot of people, because I've been sick a little bit lately, but yeah, man, I'm excited because I actually feel pretty good. And I have to say, I've been enjoying gaming a lot again. I think I went through a little bit of a thing where I really needed to kind of stir some things up, in my opinion. I was unhappy with the Microsoft stuff, and to be fair, I was very honest about it. I was like, I still like Xbox, okay. I like the Xbox One X. I think Microsoft is doing good things. The problem is, I want to see Microsoft do even more things, and I want to see Microsoft continue to announce new things and not be afraid to announce new things, simply because, you know, uh, because we're gonna be we're gonna be keep going forward. Sorry guys, I keep getting messages, and I was trying to read those. And when you're by yourself doing a show, and you don't want there to be dead air, so that's one of those that's one of those things that I hate, is dead air. So I'm sitting here reading messages and trying to read all the comments and stuff. So yeah, hopefully we continue to see that stuff. Okay, let's see. Sully, no, that's not tonight. That's not. You know what? I would Xbot and Mooch. Maybe next week, next Saturday, we do a live stream again. Okay, so Big Daddy Tomcat, you ask a fair question. He says, how much more new things do you need? Microsoft has more than doubled their first-party studios and aren't done yet. I need to see the aren't done yet part, okay? Because Big Daddy Tomcat, we're in 2019, and we know almost everything that's coming, right? So some of those studios, you can't tell me you're excited to see what NXile does, which, by the way, they're making multiplats right now, or Compulsion Games, who's still working on DLC for We Happy Few. That doesn't benefit us at all. Same thing with Obsidian. They're working on that Fallout and space game, Outer Worlds. So, they could even possibly end up doing a sequel to that'd be multiplat. So for me personally, we need to see some of these studios that are going to do stuff for us now. Like that's the part where that I'm talking about. TLR9 says, crap, Pepsi sucked. Coke is where it's at. Hey, man. Hey, you know what? Listen, dude, people are going to be, my wedding is going to be in February. The ideal number, I think, you want to play with 3 other friends, but you'll have a blast just playing with one other friend in Sea of Thieves. And so I do think that that's going to be if you only got one other friend to play with, then I think you're okay. If you've got 3 other friends, then you're going to even be you're going to have even more fun. So hopefully you have at least one other friend though. Not losing hope. Listen, I don't lose hope for Xbox. I was always hopeful for Xbox. Just because I was playing PlayStation and I'm excited about the PlayStation 5 doesn't mean that I'm down on Xbox, okay? Crap, does your woman game with you? She watched me game and massaged my sciatic nerve a little bit. She was giving me a good sciatic nerve massage while I was playing Sea of Thieves. So yeah. WRZ Cup says, checking out your stream during lunch. Good shit. Thanks. Go Browns. Marvel Ultimate. Hey, man, I'm excited for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, man. It's one of the good reasons I have the Switch. I'm excited for it. If you guys are just joining me, please like the video and share it out because I would really appreciate it. If you guys are just joining me and you're wondering what the main crux of the video is, it is, according to Remedy Entertainment, who did a PowerPoint presentation on their PowerPoint presentation, which this is probably from 4 to 6 months ago. It says that there was 41 million Xbox One sold, 91 million PS4 sold, and 29 million Switches sold. So that's why I say that this was 4 to 6 months old, because those numbers are accurate for 4 to 6 months ago for PlayStation and for and for the Switch. So that could be very, very accurate for Microsoft, which would put them at something along the lines of probably 44, 45 million by now. So that's a pretty damn good number if considering, right? If 44, 45 million is the number now, holy crap. Like, that's going to blow a lot of people away. And the other number was the 9.5 million supposedly monthly users Xbox Game Pass has, which I linked that as well. The slide, I'm going to have to, I looked for it on an article, but I couldn't find that. I just have the picture, but I didn't want to put it in a video. Maybe I'll add it to like a one of those picture things and image it or something along those lines. But yeah, so for me, it was one of those things where, like I said, we have to see Microsoft continue to invest, and then I'll be very, very happy. This E3 is going to be huge. Listen, hey, Johnny, here's the thing. Like, okay, he says, you sounded like a flip-flopper. I don't like that term, okay? Because, listen, I like PlayStation. I've liked PlayStation games since I started playing them this generation, okay? I reviewed Until Dawn extremely well years ago. I reviewed Uncharted well years ago. I reviewed Ratchet and Clank really well. So I've liked some of their games. Now, I've disliked, they turned down EA Access. They've turned down a few things that, like, I feel like they've done some things that were really stupid, but I've liked some of their games, and I still do, man. Like Days Gone, I really liked. God of War was probably the best game of this generation. Microsoft started off so well for me, and then just kind of disappeared. I don't know. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my thought on that. I didn't flip flop. Like, here's the thing. At the beginning of this generation, Xbox had more games. PlayStation had lesser games and lesser quality. As the generation moved on, PlayStation got better quality and more games. Xbox had lesser quality and less games. So that's not flip-flopping. If you're like, oh, well, I started playing Xbox a lot, and then as PlayStation started coming out with more games, I started playing PlayStation more. That's not flip-flopping. It's just going where there's games. And I play multi-plats on my Xbox One X anyway, so it's not like I wasn't playing my Xbox One X. I just was playing more exclusives and stuff like that. So, hopefully that kind of sets it straight. So, no, listen, here's the thing. I will say that there's one thing that I learned. Do I think that Xbox is in danger of turning into a ghost town next gen? I hope not. I want gamers to buy the next Xbox so that we can play natively against other Xbox owners. I don't really want to play against xCloud owners or PC gamers. I want Xbox versus Xbox. That's sort of my thing. That's what I would really love to do. Yes, Man of Medan from Supermassive Games looked extremely well. Look, one thing that came from all this stuff is people that supported me dropped their support of me at the drop of a hat of being critical for 3 weeks. I was extremely critical. 3 weeks out of the entire year, I was very critical of Microsoft, and people dropped support for me just like that. On the other hand, when PlayStation guys thought I was going all PlayStation, which didn't happen, they all were like, oh, hell yeah, crap, which I like PlayStation, and you're not going to see me bash it blindly anymore. But it's like I learned not to take the hate seriously because it's one of those things where people are going to always stay. It's like sports teams, right? People are going to always kind of go where their heart is or whatever. And I don't take it like the names and the threats and all that. I don't take that seriously. Everybody is just, we're all just people. We're all just gamers. I unblocked most people that I could find on Twitter that were legit, just like people that wanted to have a conversation. And I have no problems if you're going to have a conversation about gaming. Then that's great, man. I don't think it really becomes about anything else. And there's always going to be people. I always feel like no matter what I do, and Mooch probably will hate that I say this if he's still watching. I wear my heart on my sleeve a lot, and there's always like the whole time I've done YouTube, there's always been this contingent of people that just hate me or they just want to destroy me for whatever reason. I never got it because I don't get it, man. I don't get why people, and if they did have a problem with me, nobody ever comes to me with their problems. They go and make videos about it, or they go and do this about it, or they go and say this about it without adding me, on Twitter or social media. So that I never know of the problem until somebody goes, "Hey, crap, did you hear about this or did you hear about that?" No, I didn't hear about it because nobody was man enough to tell me the problem. If I ever had a problem with somebody, I would tell them. I would most likely DM them just because that's how I am, man. I don't really believe in sharing people's problems publicly for the most part. Everybody can have a slip up. I'm certainly not perfect, but for the most part, I've tried to do as good a job as I can and just keep it gaming on my channel. And it's unfortunate so many people can't do that. So, hold on. Simone Stone says, crap, you did flip-flop. Nothing wrong with playing PlayStation, but you bashed Xbox for more subs. I didn't gain any subs out of that, dude. I'm not sure if you realize this, but when you build up a channel mostly on positive Xbox news and you start being very critical of Xbox, people drop support of you. Now, out of the blue, you're not going to get tons and tons of subs. I know that might have happened for this one guy or whatever. That's certainly not my case. I was just being honest about it. And I'm sorry that like a lot of people had problems with the honesty level that I was bringing to them, right? Like, hey, we need games. We need a new game announcement. That's just factual. That's not trying to get anything out of it. I never stopped doing pro Xbox videos, but I needed to be very critical. And I feel like I did finally get my point across. And that's exactly what I had to do. And then unfortunately, some people are going to always think they would rather think it's about views or subscribers, right? Than somebody actually being honest or there being a real problem with Microsoft, right? Or being like Microsoft. It can't be that Microsoft, that Microsoft messed up or that they haven't actually, like I was giving factual stuff. Their last AAA exclusive that they announced, new IP, was 2015 Sea of Thieves, right? We're in 2019. That's factual, okay? The quality of their games have been very much AA with Recore, State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3. These are very Halo Wars 2, very AA-esque games. That's factual, right? Like, that's not me bashing Xbox because I think some of those are good games. I just think they're like smaller games, and we deserve to get some of these big AAA bangers. And it seemed like Microsoft just stopped trying for like a year or two where they literally weren't doing anything. So that was my thing. So it's not flip flopping. I started, and I also play Switch. Does that make me a flip flopper too? I can't wait to play Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I guess I'm a flip flopper. No, listen, if Xbox goes out there and kills it at E3, and I believe they will, I'm hearing really good things, then I'm going to do, me and Mooch and Gadang are going to be covering it, and we're going to be excited, man. I want to be excited by what Microsoft has to offer. I also want to be excited by Nintendo and PlayStation because I bought all these platforms, and I don't even want to think about how much money I spent getting a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, PlayStation VR, something like, I don't even know how many VR games I got. I got most of them, even the smaller ones that are a few bucks, man. So it's something like 60 VR games or whatever it is. I think I have bought 4 or 5 different Xbox Ones this generation. I bought a Nintendo Switch. I have a Wii U. I don't know if that's technically this gen, but the amount of consoles and games that I've bought is insane. So I want these things to have games and to be excited by them. So I think that's something that people kind of forget about. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, exactly. I just want Xbox to do better. That's all, man. Long Drive says exclusives don't matter. People are already done with Days Gone, back to third-party games. Listen, I'm not saying that you're 100% wrong. What I'm saying is when an exclusive comes out and you see even Xbox guys buying this game on the platform that's not natively theirs, like, all the YouTubers that are Xbox-centric were playing Days Gone, right? But when Xbox comes out with an exclusive, you don't see the PlayStation-centric people playing those because they're not very good. And they haven't been very good. That's always been my thing, right? We need to get better games. That's all I'm saying. Hola Mako 17 says, I love the chemistry between you and Mooch. Me and Mooch are good friends. I really like it. It's hard to really sort of really kind of establish exactly. I just got sent a really funny thing. Yes, it's really hard. We're friends, man. That's first and foremost. If I trusted anybody that I've met through YouTube, it's it's that guy. And that's not saying I don't hate me if I talk to you on YouTube or you're in my podcast or I do your podcast and I say that I trust Mooch. Like, he's my friend. He's the guy that I would go have a drink with. We'd watch football. We're friends. You know what I mean? I don't even look at it as, oh, we're just YouTube friends. No, me and Mooch are friends. And, that's the, we talk about all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's really cool that me and I think that shows when we do videos, when we do MNC, we do any of this stuff. And I know a lot of people don't like it because it sounds so super cocky, but I'm sorry. Me and Mooch are probably, like, I feel like Mooch is the best talker on the microphone in this YouTube gaming world, right? The guy can talk his ass off, and he's loud, and I can have my up and down times, but for Mooch, that guy is just an amazing talker. And I feel like the only reason why Mooch isn't a bigger entity than he is probably, believe it or not, probably because his association with me, there was a lot of negativity around me. So, yeah, I feel like he would probably be bigger if he wasn't. But to his credit, man, he's been like such a good friend and stuff like that. Let's see. Okay, well, hold on, Gotham guy, you got a good question. He says it's not that you flip flop, but there was no need to be critical of Xbox because you were regurgitating stuff that we already discussed on numerous shows. But they're different shows, all right. Like, if I'm on Crossfire, that's Mooch's channel. If I'm on this, it's my channel. You know what I'm saying? And we are talk shows. That's what we do. So, hey, if you guys are just joining me, please like the video. Let's get over 100 likes. We're closing in on it. Please share it out as well. I'd really appreciate that. What we do if Microsoft announced Sunset Overdrive at E3, or Sunset Overdrive 2, I will put mayonnaise all over my fat belly and put it on camera. That's what I'll do. Did you see the God of War development documentary? I'm gonna watch it. I'm hoping that I can. Who's the most underrated gaming YouTuber out there? What? Who said that? Xbot, I have to say this, man. You're unflinching. Positivity is infectious. I love that about Xbot, man. He does great stuff with the next podcast. And in fact, he does such great stuff on that show with that panel. As I got most of his panel that do Xbox Nation too. So it's such a diverse group, man. Hopefully it helps grow his stuff a little bit too, man. I've always invited people on this channel. And I mean, I could go down a long list of people that I've had on this channel that I've legitimately hoped it would help build their platform or whatever. And that's always the goal, man, is to get people out there to, and I don't have a big channel, but it's, anytime you can help people get some views and get some audience, I think that's great. You know what I mean? So let's see. I'm going to look at that God of War development documentary soon. Let's see. Microsoft. Do I think of Microsoft Mixer performance? I don't know anything about Mixer. I know it's the worst. It's the best platform for latency, but it's the worst platform to actually stream on because nobody cares or watches. Thoughts on the rumors of Microsoft characters appearing as Smash Brothers DLC? That makes sense to me. So that 100% makes sense to me because Microsoft wants it. Let's see what else we got. Always enjoy Mojo Blues, man. I really appreciate that. Hey, I would love to see I would love to see like a Banjo Kazooie and a Smash Brothers or whatever. I think that'd be kick ass. God of War is still relevant while Red Dead is not. Well, listen, Red Dead, I wouldn't say isn't. There's Red Dead Online, but God of War is just like a once in a generation thing, in my opinion. And they just did such a fantastic job with that. It's really, it's really just something that that really just comes along once in a while. So yeah. Okay, what else do we got here? I love answering you guys' questions. Crap, you're gonna get Rage 2. Rage 2. Well, here's the thing, man. I wasn't much on Rage 1. I'll probably pick up Rage 2 when it hits Xbox Game Pass or when it drops to like $30. I know that's probably not the classy thing to do, but yeah, I really do think that it is. Yeah, Top Dog, I'm gonna check out the God of War documentary. They did an absolutely great job with that. Albert G says, anyone surprised Days Gone sold so well after the bad reviews? No, you know what? Look, the Sony guys, to their credit, this generation buy the games. They bought the games in spite of the a lot of the negative reviews and stuff like that. So I really do think that that's very cool, and I love seeing that. I like seeing the fact that so many people went out and bought that game. I bought it. I bought the collector's edition. I thought it was a really good game, much better than the 72 Metacritic that was shown. I just feel like it was one of those things that, that happens sometimes. It's hard to, when you're a first party for Sony, right? And this is just going to be 100% honest. You're a first party for Sony, and you have to compete with stuff like The Last of Us 2 or, Uncharted and some of these like really, really well received games, God of War. It's going to be hard to do. And Sony Bend, to their credit, did what they could, but it's just always going to be difficult to go out there and compete the way that that those bigger studios can do. So hopefully, they make a sequel. I do believe that they will make a sequel, and I would love to see some kind of multiplayer horde mode in a sequel. So supposedly Sony told them not to do that because Ben Studios wanted to do that. So yeah, like that would be very interesting. So for me anyway, I would think that would be. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at this comment. I'm sorry. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, please like and share if you guys are just coming in here. Let's see, what do we got here? Some dude claims Days Gone is selling out in Japan. No, Days Gone is really selling well. What do you think we'll get more leaks at E3? Here's the thing: we are less than a month away from E3, so the closer we get, the more leaks we'll get, and the more accurate leaks we'll get. So, the stuff like Killer Instinct that we've heard, Killer Instinct 2 or whatever, that could be very accurate. Um, I'm very excited to see what we have, I want to see it. Gaming for Days says, why can't Xbox stream YouTube natively? Good show. I answered this earlier, actually. It has to do with something to do with Microsoft and Google. They don't get along per se. So yeah, that's why. That's the only reason. So supposedly they were working on something, but I believe that they've canceled whatever they were working on or whatever. So Captain Crunch says, hey Crab, what if Lockhart has no disk drive? They have no disk drive. I don't know, man. I'll be getting the Anaconda. I believe that everything that they're going to be doing is going to be with a disk drive, though, right? And then the mid-gen refreshes are going to be the ones that sort of maybe have the lack of disk drive or whatever. So yeah, like the mid-gen stuff or the sort of like the SAT edition. I feel like they won't launch with that. Oh yeah. Let's see. What else do we got? Answer some more questions here. Crapgamer, do you think Xbox will be full-blown third-party services provider in 10 plus years? I think if they could get, I think in 10 years they'll do another console. So I don't think that per se. I think they'll keep doing consoles because that's how they make their money with the Xbox Live. But I do feel like what we will see in the future is the fact that Microsoft, and don't kid yourself, if Sony would allow, if Sony would allow Game Pass on PlayStation, Microsoft would for sure do it. So I think that they would still do a console though, even if they did that. I just feel like they would totally allow Game Pass on PlayStation and Nintendo if it was viable, just because they want their stuff anywhere. Also, I think if you wanted to play a drinking game this E3 and take a drink every time Phil Spencer says play your games anywhere on any device you want, any place you want, you're going to be pretty drunk pretty quick. So I can remember like doing that drinking game years ago. I was like, I remember making this joke on a forum, maybe GameSpot, maybe N4G, I don't know. But I said every time they mention, every time Sony mentions 3D TV, right? I was like, every time they mention 3D TV, take a drink, you get totally drunk. And man, they were like, 3D TV, sort of like the way Microsoft did the whole TV thing. But I just feel like people are way more critical of Xbox when Xbox mentions any type of, TV or anything like that. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. I personally think that, Microsoft is going to have a killer E3 and people are going to finally be able to, sit back and, just take a chill pill, like myself included, man. I don't want to stress out about games and all this kind of stuff. I want everything to be good. I want us all to have games and, the great games and stuff like that. So that's my point. I want Microsoft to have great games. That's been my point. And I think Gears and Halo and Forza are awesome, but I feel like they need something new from first party studios that they can cultivate and grow. And that's always been my point. And I know some people have trouble sort of hearing that, and that's exactly all I've been saying is cultivate, give your IP a chance to grow, right? It's like if it doesn't sell as much as Gears or Halo, they don't back it anymore, right? Sunset Overdrive, that wasn't the next Gears of War, so let's not make a sequel. Quantum Break didn't sell as much as Halo, let's not make a sequel, right? Like that's the stuff I'm talking about. Like that's the stuff that needs to change. And while a lot of stuff at Microsoft has changed over the years, excuse me, that's not one of the things that has changed in my opinion. Like they still very much, if you don't have a certain amount of something, then they basically don't care. You know, they won't back your game. They won't continue to, you know, make a sequel. You won't be able to do any of that stuff. So hopefully we start to see some of these games pan out to what we need to see, because I would personally love to see more games, more risks and stuff like that. And I feel like that Microsoft need to take some risks. I would love for them to actually do that this upcoming generation. Did I miss something? Okay, let's see. Yeah, I mean, look, Game Pass. Well, Game Pass on PS5 wouldn't necessarily need to be xCloud, but I don't think Sony would ever do it. I don't think that they would ever do it. And I agree that 3D TV is a flop, and the SAT edition is going to flop. But I do think that Xbox has the potential to be something special next generation if they focus a little bit more on the gamers that they took to the dance to begin with, which is us console gamers. Because even in this article that I linked in the description, which talks about the Game Pass subscribers, okay, the like 9.5 million, which if you're just joining me, the whole idea behind this video is the Game Pass subscribers are allegedly 9.5 million. I don't think it's that high. I think you could probably get away with 5.5 million, something like that. But it isn't a good number, and you can see why Microsoft is doing that. You know, Microsoft loves doing stuff like that. They want the Netflix of gaming. They want Xbox to be the Netflix of gaming, and I think that that's very much what they plan on doing. And I do think that's going to be fun. That's going to be something that the future of Xbox can build on. Because like I said, if it's true that Microsoft are subsidizing the cost of their next hardware because they know they're going to be making money on their services, sort of like they do with Xbox Live, then I think that's going to save us money, and we're going to get a better piece of hardware from that. That's always my key thing, right? So I really think that that's what we're going to get, and I'm very excited by that fact. I think that we're going to get some really cool stuff. Game Pass for $1 is the only instant strategy to buy time until more exclusives drop. Well, you have to really do the you have to do that, right? Because you want to get people hooked. Just like GameFly, just like what Netflix used to do. Next Doc says, exactly, crap. Risks. I had a back and forth with Phil Spencer on Xbox Live last week. He said he didn't understand why I felt the way I did about Xbox. I was like, are you kidding? Yeah, sometimes Phil seems like he doesn't get it. I've had conversations with Phil, and you know, he does, like, I talked to him, I'm like, you got to give people a reason to get excited about your Xbox, you know, whether, no matter what, like, even if you want them to play it on the crapper on a phone, people got to get excited by this box again. And right now, nobody's excited by the Xbox itself, in my opinion. Like, some people might go, oh yeah, the Xbox One X is a great piece of hardware. But at the same time, if you don't have games to play, they're not going to be as inclined to buy that next piece of hardware that you offer next gen or whatever. Even if there's not a next gen, their next one or whatever, people are going to go where the games are. So it's very important now that the console wars are over, to have the content wars really kind of pick up. You have to have the content. And if you were to, I don't care who you are, you could be the biggest Xbox fan in the world, but if you and even if Nintendo games aren't your thing, you're still going to say, in terms of content, Xbox is dead last, because Nintendo and Sony both are really on it when it comes to the content wars. They both have this incredibly large amount of content, and just quality. The quality is there, and I think that's the most stark contrast that I've seen in this whole setup, is the fact that Microsoft has had really lack of quality lately, and hopefully we continue to see their quality maybe start to get a little bit better as time moves on. And it needs to be, they got the most to prove, in my opinion, to the gamers. Like, even to me, like, I'm not down on Xbox, but show me you can produce something first party wise that's not Gears, Forza, or Halo, that can score well and sell well and actually be a quality game with not full of bugs and with high quality graphics. And you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for. And I get Metacritic's not everything. I agree, but I'm just saying, I want to see some of these things for myself, like a game that they can cultivate and take a chance with. That's what I want to see. Maybe some of you guys agree, maybe not. I don't know. Hopefully you do. Let's see. A few more questions on Sony hiring for Insomniac. They're making Spider-Man 2. Do I think Xbox will ever return again to the 360 glory days? No, because they wanted that 360 to be this amazing machine, and their focus was on that. They made exclusives for it. They took, like, Gears 1 was on it, but they didn't have a Halo game on it or anything like that. So yeah, for sure. What's up, TiVo? What's up, Xbot? He's still in here. Some of the back compats games are selling Xbox, like Ninja Gaiden 2. Heck yeah. Rumple Foreskin says, crap, think we'll ever see a new Twisted Metal? I don't think we'll see a new Twisted Metal because Jaffe's done, so I don't know who would make it. Polo Malco 17 says, I would never get Game Pass nor PlayStation Now. I choose my games and buy them. I agree. Hopefully we continue to have that that option, right? Like, that's what I always say, man. We deserve that option as fans to be able to get the games that we want. And I feel like that's very important. Let's see. What else do we got? Man, I love answering the questions, man. This is so fun. Mojo Blue says, I have 560 games on my X and got a free 2 years of Game Pass via Games for Grunts. And while I had always said Game Pass is a great value, but not for me, now that I have it, it is awesome. Listen, I've had it too, man. I think it's good, but the problem for me personally is I own all the games that I wanted to own on there. Like, even the smaller games that get added, the Wolfenstein 2s or the Wolfensteins or the Tomb Raiders, I have them all. So Rat the Emperor says, Jaffe said he was returning for horror-based game. Yeah, so exactly. I don't think Twisted Metal is a horror game. What's up, TiVo, man? Long time no see, man. I haven't seen you guys in here in a while. Please hit the like button if you wouldn't mind. Share it out. I would appreciate that as well. Hit the bell so you get notified of everything. Yeah, man, I think it's been great. If you are just joining me, I hope that what we can see from Microsoft is continue to really invest heavily into the future of Xbox. And if you are just joining me as well, the whole reason I made this video was supposedly, according to the link I posted in the description, Microsoft's subscriber base for Game Pass, they have it at 9.5 million monthly users. Now, 9.5 million monthly users, is that subscribers? Is that people on a trial? Is that people who are, because if you game share, people can still use your Game Pass, and maybe that'll count as a user, but not necessarily count as a subscriber. So I personally think that Game Pass is probably at about 5 million or so, which is still pretty good. You can imagine that Microsoft has big plans for this, hence they're buying a lot of studios. I still feel like they need, in my opinion, I think Microsoft needs about 20 to, but this is going to be a huge number, I know, but I feel like they need 20 to 25 studios making content all the time, as much content as possible, if they want this thing to be really successful. Because I feel like you need probably, look at Netflix, right? They don't come out with just one new show a week or month. Sometimes they'll put out 5 new shows, and a new movie. They signed Adam Sandler to, I know a lot of people don't like Adam Sandler or whatever, but they signed this guy to a movie deal. Like, Microsoft's got to get some of these big heavy hitters, and they've got to get some of these big, content creators on board putting out the games. Now, I think what they're doing with the indies and stuff, drawing people to that. And look, I think it's just the way that I think EA Access works for EA, right? Because if you have a game like Anthem, that game's going to be in there in no time, right? No time. It's going to be in there very quickly. So I do feel like we're in a situation for Microsoft anyway, where they can totally take risks if they want to with games, strictly because they have Game Pass. And I think that's something that they're going to have to be able to do. I think they're going to do good. I think there's a big upside for what they're going to be doing. I just feel like it's going to take a little bit of time. Yeah. Oh, somebody just WRG Cup, man. 12-month subscription for PlayStation Plus is only $40 right now. That's a hell of a deal, but I'm broke right now, man, or else I'd be all over that. Hell yeah. Do I think Xbox will ever return to the 360 days? No, I don't think so. Pumpkin Queen says I game share with my brother and he can't use my Game Pass. The way it works, Pumpkin Queen, I believe, is this is the way it works. So if you're game sharing with somebody and you have Game Pass and he doesn't, once you download that game from Game Pass, he'll be able to use it. I believe that's how it works. I believe so. Do I think Xbox will? Oh no, let's see. Yeah, Adam Sandler's funny. I like Adam Sandler. 3 million to prove it was viable, 10 million to prove it's a hit service, 30 million to totally dominate gaming. Yeah, they have a good idea, and I feel like with Gears and Halo on the horizon, that they can really achieve that, and I feel like people are going to kind of flock to it because I think that those are like the big bangers that they need. Crackdown 3, while a fun game, obviously very, very flawed, that's not going to get people to flock to Game Pass, I don't think, you know. Forza Horizon, I think that did a good job, but I feel like that Horizon series needs to take a little bit of a break now. Come back with something fresher, a little bit different, in my opinion. Let's see. Y9 Power says, I honestly don't want to hear about Killer Instinct, Fable, and another Forza. I want to hear about a new JRPG, new adventure game, new franchises, new sci-fi game. You know what? Y9 Power, here's the thing. I think that Phil sees JRPGs as something very niche, and so I don't think Microsoft would invest exclusively into that, but I feel like he is trying to get JRPGs on the Xbox platform for the future. So I do feel like that's something he is working on, but we do need to hear about Fable, in my opinion, because we haven't had one this entire generation. So hopefully we do. Captain Crunch says, why can't Undead Labs make a single player Days Gone? That's Xbox's problem, as there is little big budget single player. I agree. Like they need to step out and start taking some risks with their single player. I would love to see them do something along those lines. LG Nemesis says, I do not want to hear about Sea of Thieves at E3. You know what? I wouldn't count on not hearing something about it, like their DLC or whatever. So it's been 10 years since the last Fable. We need a new one. Yeah, it's been 9 years, but yeah, it'll be definitely over 10 years before we actually hear something about it. So yeah, I'm agreeing with you. See, I'm all on board for a Banjo-Kazooie, right? And I love Forza, but they're not going to announce Forza Motorsport 8 at this E3 because it's taking a year off. See, I'm all for those type of games, but I want to see something new as well, right? Like the existing IP is great, but give me something new as well. Like I'm really excited to see what Ninja Theory has, and obviously the Initiative. They're going to be doing some kick-ass stuff. So hopefully we do continue to see some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Sea of Thieves 2, The Return of the Kraken. Yes. Look, Fable will get me. If you guys want to see Crapgamer hyped, then watch them announce Fable while I'm on stream, and I'm going to freak out like a little kid, man. It's going to be like, man, I love Fable. It's probably been my favorite RPG. I know I'll get some shit for that, but Fable 2 in particular was probably my favorite RPG of last generation. I know like some people don't like it, but it was such an amazing game, that whole experience, and then the endings, the multiple endings. I just loved it. I know they overpromised on that game all the time, but I love that game so much. I just thought it was so damn good. Sea of Thieves DLC at E3 makes for a great piss break or something. No, what makes for a great piss break at E3 is when they show Minecraft. That's the time to take a little bit of a break. So I did, you know, let's see. Got some more questions. Let's see. Fable, I hope we have God of War type graphics. I think they're gonna do similar style to what they did previously. I think we're gonna see sort of an updated version of that. So hopefully we do continue to see that kind of up sort of that way. I would love to see Fable get a little bit of an update, maybe like Mooch always says, like a little bit more realistic graphics, crap, more realistic, something along those lines. Let's see. And there are a few more anyway. Let's see. Does the Fable studio have a name? Yeah, Playground Games is making Fable, guys. Um, let's see. I'm down for marketing rights with exclusive content. Call of Duty, Destiny 3, anything. Dude, Call of Duty would be great. It'd be perfect timing because the Modern Warfare series got as big as it is because of the because of the Xbox. Think about it. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare was huge on Xbox 360, right? The game didn't even have trophy support on the PS3 and ran like crap. And so I think that Microsoft really would behoove them to get some kind of agreement with this with the new Call of Duty. Like that's what I really feel like they need to do. With the last proper announcement of a new IP, we are well overdue for an E3. Yes, look, and I've mentioned this multiple times. The last AAA exclusive new IP that Microsoft announced was Sea of Thieves in 2015. You've got to rectify that. You've got to rectify it. Mojo Blue says, love or hate Sea of Thieves. It's the most unique and original game of any platform this gen, and Rare will continue to support it. I don't see why they wouldn't. There's millions of people playing it. It is a lot of fun. Like, holy crap, this new stuff that they added into it, fantastic. I love the art style of Fable. I hope they keep it. Maybe make it a little bit darker, but yeah, I agree. LG Nemesis says, question, with next gen coming out next year, what do you think Epic is going to do with Fortnite? I think they just port the game to the next gen consoles, right? I think that's all they do. I don't think that they do much else to it because the art style allows you to have it, however you want it, right? Like it's not like this super crazy art style that's difficult to do anything for, right? It's an art style that's easy to use and easy to sort of take advantage of. So yeah, that's the way I look at it. The full Kraken revealed at E3. It's got legs now. It's not even DLC. It's free. I agree, man. Look, I like the Kraken though. I like the Megalodon. I think they've done some really cool stuff with that game. It continues to get better. I know people want to hate on it or want me to hate on it, but it is such a good game. Especially now, it's probably one of the best ones. Do you think Sony will have a state of play around E3? I think they're going to do a state of play either the day before Microsoft's E3 or the day of Microsoft's E3, and I think that makes a lot of sense because, they're going to want to keep Microsoft out of the hype business. What I mean by that is a lot of people are going to be really hyped about what Microsoft is announcing, and you can't have that exactly happen, right? So you need Microsoft, and you need Microsoft to not take the whole like crown talk of the day stuff, right? So Sony, I think, is going to do some. This is what I think. My prediction for Sony is they're going to come out, announce The Last of Us 2 release date, possibly announce another big release date like Ghost of Tsushima or Death Stranding, right? So I think they're going to announce a release date or two. Definitely The Last of Us 2 release date. I think they're going to announce a PlayStation 4 Super Slim for $199, which, that's going to be huge. They'll probably bundle it with something. And I feel like they might release some PlayStation 5 news that we haven't heard yet. So, hopefully, we actually see some of these things that are sort of coming along. I really do feel that some of these games are ready for Microsoft to show off at this E3. They need to show off these games. We want them to show off these games. Let's see some of these damn games, right? So yeah, I get it that they're going to talk about xCloud and this cloud and that cloud and PC, but don't forget the people that took you to the dance to begin with. Us lowly Xbox folk. We're doing our thing, trying our best to put our best foot forward and just have a good time with gaming. And we deserve some new games. That's all I'm going to say, man. Give us some new games. Show us some new things that we haven't seen before, some new AAA IP. Show us that you've changed, and we'll take you back, Microsoft. I know some people never left, and I never left. I'm just saying, show us that you're invested into that future, and I think people will be very excited. And that's my point, right? I'm very excited by their future and the potential for what they have. And that's just how I feel about it. I know some people might still be pissed off or whatever, but that's just how I feel about it. Hey, if you guys are just joining me, please hit the like button. Maybe we can get 150 likes. Let's see. Extreme 2 Swagger says, crap, do you think Microsoft... hold on. You think Microsoft should have their own Marvel exclusive like Nintendo with Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Sony with Spider-Man and Iron Man VR? Well, he didn't say Iron Man VR, but Iron Man VR does look good. Yes, I do. I would love Microsoft to go do something like that. You think they might show a new Mech Warrior? That's a possibility. There's a rumor about that. Sir Turtlot says, do you think Killer Instinct is more likely to receive a sequel or a 4th season? I hope they do a straight-up sequel with a full game that releases, right? It's been a long time. Give us some guest characters, maybe Mortal Kombat characters in there as well. A few new characters that you haven't done before. Just refine it, make it a nice AAA game with the endings and stuff the way that those games were supposed to have. Will we get a new PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2 when they come out? Yeah. Are you asking me when will I get the new PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2? I'll buy them when they first release. I enjoy those, I buy the new hardware when it comes out. Excuse me, guys and girls. So that's what I do. Hey, Yobi, peace, love, life. What's happening? Yobi, Dren, nice to see you here, man. Always supporting and always a good guy in the gaming community. Dual Purpose says Xbox One sells about 6 to 7 million consoles each year. 35 million. It's no wonder they're trying to expand their game base. Well, listen, they're a business. You have to pivot your business sometimes. And so that's what they did. They pivoted their business and they were able to, they had to. And if you look at, like again, this article that I shared in the description talks about how Microsoft is really setting themselves up for the future with xCloud and stuff. So again, xCloud is also hopefully going to subsidize the cost of their future hardware. And I think I've heard the Don say this before. You guys know the Don, really good guy. Played Sea of Thieves with him the other day. He's been on Xbox Nation. He's on Next Podcast. He's a developer. And he was mentioning that, hey, when it comes to this type of thing, okay, when it comes to being able to subsidize the cost of your hardware up front, this is going to be the way to go about it. And so he was very honest about that. And and he's turned out to be right about a lot of stuff, including that, right? The fact that Microsoft has this unlimited budget almost that they can do whatever they want. And if people are really subscribing to Xbox Live Gold, Xbox Game Pass, Xbox xCloud, right, then couldn't they technically sell the hardware at a lesser cost to us? Because that's going to keep the live subscriptions coming. People might choose to do xCloud that way. I don't know. But if you want to play games online, you got to pay for Xbox Live anyway. So, excuse me for 1 second. I had to take that drink. With that being said, I'm going to take some more questions because I'm enjoying this, man. I got a little bit more time. We'll see if there's any good questions in here to take. What do you guys think? 30%. Let's see. Unlike Sony, Microsoft won't suffer with low console sales. I don't know, man. Listen, low console sales, Microsoft, I don't think really care. Pumpkin Queen says, think the PS5 will play the PS3 games? No. Mark Cerny already kind of confirmed that. So, I don't think that it's going to play PS3 games. I think they're going to use their cloud streaming service. With the unlimited budget, you got to ask yourself why the dip in games. Well, now they have an unlimited budget. I think for the last couple of years they had very much a budget. unless you were a surefire hit or a low cost game, you weren't getting made. Hence why we got Gears, Halo, and Forza, or a low cost game like Recore, right? I like your channel. Very cool guy. The date and the new stuff like Xbox 2, the date, and they will come let us know. Well, I don't know the date yet. Oh, I did hear the next Xbox will release November 20th, 2020, and it had something to do with marketing, the power or something like that. So that's a rumor, but take that as with a big grain of salt right now because we don't know. But if it does turn out to be that, I'm going to be the guy going, Crapgamer was right, and people aren't going to like it. I'm shocked that Sony can't emulate that CPU and GPU given the power of the PS5. Hey, I'm shocked too because I have PS3 games and I feel like, that's one of those things that Microsoft, that Microsoft really should be able to do a little bit better with, you know what I mean, in my opinion. So let's see. Let's get some more questions. Crapgamer asked for E3 for everyone. When will we all play? We win. Do you think this E3 is going to be heavily influenced with cross-play services and third party? I think we'll see many new projects. I don't think we'll see many new projects. Okay, so this particular E3, I agree. I was like, well, we'll probably see a few new things, but this is what I would expect. And I'll do like an official E3, what I've heard completely and what I predict as well. But you're going to see a lot of Halo, a lot of Gears. You're going to see probably some Battletoad stuff. There's going to be some new studio announcements. You're going to see the new studio. You're going to see Ninja Theory's game. You might see the Fable game announcement. But mostly, yeah, you're going to see a lot of third-party stuff, basically because that's what Microsoft, for some reason, Phil thinks that having like the whole world on his shoulders, right? Like, oh, Sony's not going to be there. Looks like we better go ahead and try to carry that for everybody else, right? So I think that that's probably his idea, right? Like we're gonna have to carry the weight, and we need people to get excited about gaming, and so it's up to us. So I do think that that's exactly what we're gonna be seeing here at E3. So hopefully Microsoft does break out some new stuff and some fun stuff, and I'm expecting them to do some really cool stuff. And hopefully they do. Hopefully they don't let us down, man. I'm tired of saying wait till E3. If they don't bring the E3 stuff this year, I mean, what can you say? If they don't, if they, and I think they will. They're going to show a new IP. Whether or not that's AAA or not, I think that's who knows. But if they choose not to for some damn reason, I don't know. Like that really shows they're out of touch, in my opinion. I know you're not gaming related, but I know you're an animal guy. Yeah, man, that's me, dude. My day-to-day job, taking care of animals and training and all that kind of stuff. That's sort of my thing. I've been doing that for a long time, man. My first real kind of job, I worked at a kennel. Well, I think my first job was KFC. Yeah, I think I was like 15. I had to have my parents' permission to even work there, and you can only work a certain amount of hours. But my first job was a kennel, and then I learned dog training and stuff like that from that. And just it's kind of a lifelong thing and passion for me, rescuing animals, training animal dogs mostly. But yeah, I'm a big animal guy, so hopefully most people know that about me by now. Right now is critical. Yeah, they got to show some stuff. Should Sony buy more studios? Why not? Look, it never hurts anybody to have more studios in the content wars, right? Like it's a Star Wars thing. Episode 9, Content Wars. Microsoft strikes back by buying, 3 new studios. What will Sony do to answer? Like Sony could do, I feel like if Sony wanted to trump everything that Microsoft's done studio-wise, Sony would buy Insomniac Games, right? Because then they would own Sunset Overdrive. They would have like the studio that built them great games, such as Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man, and of course the Resistance series. And that studio itself is like bigger and more well known for quality than pretty much any of the studios that Microsoft bought. So Dual Purpose says, what if it's all new AA titles, like 5 new Crackdown 3 level games? Will that be a win? That won't be a win for me. We need to see some AAA games, man. AAA games. Keith Crazy says, question, with Microsoft targeting 2 billion gamers and pushing xCloud on phones, tablets, PCs, do you think the game quality could be affected, unlike Sony's, whose studios make games only for PS4? This was a question that I posed a lot to, if they choose to do forward compatibility. If they choose to do forward compatibility, then they still got to ship games on that base Xbox One 1.3 T-flop console. And even if the next Xbox is 15 T-flops, something tells me that that's going to hold it back. I don't, like we won't see as much as we could because they still got to ship that game on that original Xbox One. So I do feel like that could be an issue, but I have also heard internally that Microsoft is fearful of being looked at as, as this AA or like a direct to DVD type of Game Pass situation. They don't want that. So I did do that. Let's see. I got a new kitten, 10 weeks old. How much is it? How is a good way to keep him from meowing so much when I'm in another room? Well, a 10-week-old kitten is going to meow a lot no matter what. That's a very young age for a kitten. So I would suggest playing as much as much attention to him as you possibly can. Long Drive says, are you going to do shows when you just ask questions? Yeah, why not? What if it? Let's see. Are you watching Rise of Skywalker? No, Last Jedi was terrible. I'll watch it. I like that they brought back the Emperor. I hope, and I've heard that they've changed some things like Rey's parentage and stuff like that. So maybe Snoke had something. Maybe the Emperor was controlling Snoke all along. I don't know. Like they have to really change that up. Maybe Luke isn't really dead, or he's ascended and can be, do something even more powerful. Maybe raise a Skywalker. I don't know. I will probably watch it, but if they really screw it up, man, I don't know what to say. Hey, by the way, guys, hit the like button, share it out if you wouldn't mind. It's one of those things where I really appreciate the support. I do these impromptu, things sometimes, and hopefully, you guys enjoyed. I know I enjoy watching the comments and answering the comments and things like this. So hopefully, hopefully you guys enjoy coming to the shows and stuff. I enjoy it. So yeah, this has been a fun day because for me, it was a kind of a rainy day or whatever, and now I'm just kind of chilling and it's just a lot of fun. I'm having a good time. So. Let's see. I'm gonna answer a few more questions before I skedaddle. Let's see. I can't wait for the new Xbox to come out. They need some cool stuff. I agree. Microsoft needs to bring sequels to the original IP they launched with Xbox One. Yeah, they haven't cultivated their games for crap this generation. Absolutely sap. See you, Captain Crunch. Crap, my dog now only eats when I mix it up with Caesars. What should I do? It depends on how old your dog is. If you have an older dog, sometimes, kind of spoil them or whatever that way. You can try like mixing. If you get a certain type of dog food, you can try like watering it down a bit and making it a little bit mushier. That's what I always would try to do. I never usually mix in the especially if they're younger. When they get hungry enough, they'll eat. Sometimes older dogs get very picky, and so it's good to mix in that kind of stuff with it because it's a little bit fattening and it keeps them, from losing too much weight. So that would be my suggestion for you there. Am I getting Rage 2? No, I'm not going to get Rage 2 right away. One, I can't afford it. Two, I'll probably wait till it drops in price a little bit. It does look good, but when I watch Xbox streams, the chat is snoring and complaining when they talk xCloud controller and PC. Even social media is complaining. Are we mistaken, or is Xbox really out of touch? Look, the SAT edition proves that Xbox is kind of out of touch. You know what I mean? So I think that's T Bobo says today's my birthday. Happy birthday, bro. Jay Barry says, crap, when are you gonna unblock me on Twitter and we can have a bash Xbox together session? I'll hold on, let me see if I can find you. I'll see if I can find you on there, man, and I'll oh, okay, there we go. I found you. I unblocked you right now. Just now unblocked. There you go, man. I unblocked you, dude. Absolutely. And if anybody else along the way feels like I had them blocked on Twitter or social media and you just want to talk games, man, if you want to sit there and call me a fat ass and stuff, I'm probably still going to keep you blocked. But if you just want to talk games and whatever and joke around, I'm cool with that, man. If you want to be like your mom wears combat boots and stuff like that, then I'll probably keep you blocked. But yeah, man, I'm like I'm a new leaf gamer, new leaf. Okay, let's see. I'm going to answer a few more questions, guys. xCloud is how Microsoft wins next generation. Let's see. Did I see Detective Pikachu? No, I have not seen that. I have no intention to see that either. Yeah, J Bar, you keep it. That's true, man. Look, early on, man, in this whole console war thing, when there was a console war, that's long over, by the way. Like it's like one of those things. I would rather block somebody than hear a different opinion. Now it's a little bit different. Than I don't mind the different opinions. I think it's cool. It keeps things going. There's respectful ways to go about it, even if you disagree with somebody's opinion. So that's the way I look at it now. I'm not the same person as I was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But the good news is in the YouTube world, there's always people that are pretending that are doing the shtick that I was doing 4 or 5 years ago in a Southern accent and sort of changing it, kind of keeping it relevant that what I was doing. But we all grow up sometime, right? And I feel like as I am, like I said, a lot of people know I'm about to get married and I'm, moving. There's just a lot of stuff. Like I don't want to be this kind of same kind of shtick that I was doing years ago. I just want to talk video games and hopefully, like I said, it's a little bit of rebuilding. I like as we go to the next generation, it's going to be more about the content more than console wars because I feel like there is no console wars anymore. Like that stuff is over. And I feel like most YouTubers will have to come up with that fact as well, right? Like when you just have to cover content because the console stuff is done with, it's like we're just going to be talking about the games from now on. And, there's not going to be sales to talk about. There's not going to be just the content. Like, okay, what games do we got? That's that's what it's going to come down to. And I think that's that's what it's going to realistically come down to. So, yeah, hopefully anyway. Hey, I'm all for console wars being over, man. Like I think console wars was kind of fun there for a little bit, but at the end of the day, you know, what's done is done. So answer a couple more questions. I think that there is a winner next generation ecosystems. If you're with a PlayStation ecosystem, then you will mainly stay there. And you'll stay with your. I think most people end up with both or whatever, but I do feel like people will right away feel more compelled to buy a PlayStation 5 because they're synonymous with great exclusive content, and Microsoft isn't yet. Like Microsoft, especially this generation, has dropped the ball. So I feel like that gives Sony a big advantage right now. Exactly. Let's just all be gamers. Does your girlfriend like Xbox better than? Well, she's my fiance. Does she? Well, I mean, we have an Xbox hooked up in the. Yeah, I mean, she was watching me play Sea of Thieves the other day, and then she fell asleep. No joke, she fell asleep watching me play Sea of Thieves. So that's a little bit funny. Let's see. Well, I was actually married before, man. I got married super young, and to an older woman. and she was like 7 years older than me, something like that. And I was super young, and she was technically still married when I met her, even though she was separated or whatever. And then we got married, and then things just, I was young and just kind of foolish, and things didn't work out. And now things are just much different, and I'm much clearer idea on what I want out of life. And so you live and you learn. Like I tell people, right? So people go on Twitter, man, I have receipts because you said this 2 years ago or 3 years ago, exposed or whatever. And I'm like, man, anybody that is still the same person or thinks exactly the same 2 years ago as they do now have wasted their life. Like, even if it's little changes in your thoughts and opinion, we all do that. And it's not flip flopping. It's just life. We grow. We always continually grow and learn. And earlier in the generation, Xbox was it for me. Later, PlayStation came out with these amazing games. I love those games. VR, I love VR. Everybody knows it. Xbox has this powerful box with the X. I love that. I'm excited for the future of gaming. I just think that the future of gaming is, you know, is the content. It's the games, and that's mostly what I'm excited about. So, hopefully, we do see great games at E3 because that's what I'm most excited about. Let's see. I was originally. Now my fiance is younger than me, so there's that. Zachary says, I love to play good games no matter what platform. I've always had both consoles just because of the exclusives. Exactly. Keith Crazy says, how can Microsoft make people switch? PS5 launching with Death Stranding and backwards compatible with PS4. Which game should Microsoft launch with to rival Death Stranding? Look, I think Microsoft's going to launch the best Halo game in years. So I think there's that. I think they'll launch with Forza, and they might launch with that new Ninja Theory IP and maybe Fable a year later. So it's going to be hard because if they wait to announce their games another year, and Sony comes back to E3 next year and announces, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, God of War 2, then Microsoft really played themselves, right? There's no Sony at E3 this year. You got to go all out, balls to the walls this year, and get people out there and get that sort of. You've got to do that. That's, to me anyway. You've got to get that out there. Crap likes Days Gone, and I felt Fallout 76. 2 games people play or say are bad. Trust your gut. Listen, Mooch loved Fallout 76. I have it, but I never played it yet. Days Gone, really good, ambitious game. They kept updating it. It wasn't like they just released it and stopped updating it. They updated it like every day for like a week straight. And it plays much better. I never had much of a problem with it, a couple issues here or there, but for the most part, it plays and looks amazing. Like, if that game had released as an Xbox exclusive, that would be the best Xbox exclusive, this new IP in this generation, and most ambitious too, in my opinion. Next doc says, when did you get your Gears tattoo? I got inspired to get mine from Gears Inc. Anticipation of Gears 4. I got mine in 2015. So I think when they announced Gears 4, I wanted the Gears Omen tattoo. And so I got it in 2015, and the guy did a really good job on it. At first, he was like thinking it was just all going to be black ink or whatever, and I was like, no, I want it red. And so to make sure that the red stays vibrant, man, you really have to press hard. So it was quite painful. For the most part, tattoos don't really hurt me. But this one, there's a couple times where I grit my teeth a bit because, when you're trying to get the color to really shine out there, that's what happens. Let's see. Ryan says, Rise, Son of Rome is still the best looking game of the generation. I don't know if it's the best looking anymore, but it certainly is probably in the top 10. They did a really good job with it. It's unfortunate, in my opinion, that that game really sort of has kind of fallen off the map in terms of just in terms of how they've been able to not secure a sequel. Like, I really feel like they needed to get a sequel for that made, and the fact that they haven't is a bit of a bummer. But hopefully we actually will see. I heard for a fact that we won't get a sequel, so I hate to let you guys know that. But that game is good, and it looks good, and it plays good. People just didn't like the clone enemies, and the fact that you could fail some of the you could actually fail the you could actually fail and still complete the QTE or whatever. So okay, let's see. The Order has better graphics than Rise. Maybe I don't know. Xbox got shit on so bad at launch of the Xbox One. Yeah, people weren't happy with the Xbox One, man. I listen. I want games, man. If Microsoft can put their games on a smart toilet or a smart fridge, and I'm fine with it, as long as they have games that I can play on my physical Xbox. That's what I care about, and hopefully, um, they actually continue to do stuff like that because that's what I want to see. And I know a lot of other people want to see that too. So I know uh, sometimes it could be one of those weird things where we don't necessarily like the full on direction that the company's going. But if they come out with the games, I think that's the most important thing. So next doc, if Microsoft is like, if you can tune out the xCloud crap and the PC crap, and they're just like, here's these great, amazing games that you're going to be able to play on your Xbox console, then I think that a lot of people are going to be like, hell yeah, that sounds amazing, right? Like that's my thinking anyway. Like that's what I want to see. Just my opinion. If that happens, boom, I think a lot of people will forgive Microsoft and we'll see them continue to do well in this whole console industry and stuff like that. So they really need to as well. It's like you've got to go out there and you've got to get people excited about your future. And I think that's what they're starting to do right now. Will they pull the trigger this E3? They better. They better. In my opinion, they definitely need to. So hopefully they can do that. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. I've been here almost 2 hours talking. Maybe we get up on over 150. I would really appreciate that. I like doing these on Mondays. If Mondays works for you guys, man, I might start doing them every Monday when I can. Doing one solo means I can answer a lot of questions in the chat. Just kind of shoot the breeze, have a good time. Do you want to get owned by some dude in Gears 5 playing on mobile while on the train and you're on the Anaconda? See, dual purpose. Here's the thing. It's not that I think it would go opposite, right? I don't want to have an advantage over someone playing on a mobile, right? And I feel like Microsoft, more than some of these other people, really don't care how you play it. Like, I think they're going to make it more difficult to not play against people on mobile or whatever. So I only want to play against other console gamers. And like, I don't want to play console versus mobile or whatever. I think it should be mobile versus mobile, PC versus PC, console versus console, especially in shooters and stuff like that. Who the hell wants to get beat by a keyboard and mouse? That's a problem. Crap, do you think xCloud is coming to the original Xbox One so we don't need to upgrade consoles? I don't know. xCloud could be a thing for that, but I just feel like there's going to be some lag there. For multiplayer games. Let's see. Donnie D or Phil Spencer. This is a tough one. I believe, damn it. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Well, here's the thing. I like a lot of what Donnie D did, but Donnie D obviously went the more casual route with Kinect. And that's why we didn't get as many games, and that's why the Xbox One was in the state it was in. I like what Phil does, but obviously Phil was the one that canceled Fable Legends and Scalebound and all these other games, and he was on the board too when Donnie D was passing all this other stuff. I feel like Donnie D got it that Xbox needed exclusive content, so I feel like if Donnie D were in charge, well, it could have to do with the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella. That guy could feel that could be pressuring Phil. I don't know. So it's hard saying, man. I think Phil's a good guy. I don't think Phil had as much of a choice as people think, though. So that could be a bit of a problem as well, just kind of in the going forward and things like that. So let's see. I'm going to answer a couple more, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. Got stuff I got to do. Let's see here. Phil had no choice. I kind of believe that too. So yeah, if a game don't work, it don't work. I mean, look, Phil also knows better quality control and stuff, right? Like for example, State of Decay 2. Okay, like that. that game was launched a mess. Phil should have known better and maybe not launched that game. I just in my opinion, when it launched, Sea of Thieves lacked content. He should have known better. Like those are some of my thing. Crackdown 3. That game didn't have you couldn't play with your friends in squads. That he should have known better. Again, just little things like that, kind of annoying, kind of stressful or whatever. But at the same time, I think Phil is trying. So, am I getting rage too? No, Shady man. I wish I could, man. I can't afford it right now, but maybe when it hits Game Pass or when it gets half off or something like that. Do I think Xbox is going in the right direction? I think they're going in the right direction if it was 15 years from now, but I think they're maybe jumping the gun, trying to get an early jump on the right direction. And I feel like Sony's going to kind of pull the rug out from under them by focusing on consoles still, because I think console is still the way people want to play for the most part. And if you look at console growth, it's up, whereas mobile and stuff like that is down. And so I feel like mobile will obviously pick up again, but I feel like, like that Google Stadia stuff, nobody's even talking about that anymore, right? So I feel like Sony focusing on the console right now is great for them, and I think Microsoft should focus a little bit more on the console, but they're going to want like that 2 billion gamers or whatever. So we'll have to see how it works out, man. I'm excited by what Microsoft has. I want to see them announce even more studios, though. Very quickly at this E3. They need some more studios, and it's going to be fun to to see how that works out. Anyway, why is Microsoft releasing 2 consoles? One console is going to be the hardcore one. One is going to be the more casual one with the lesser specs. Let's see. Crapgamer next doc says, I don't trust Phil at all. He knew the state of said games, yet canceled Scalebound because it was best for gamers. Yeah, look, Phil says things sometimes and then does the opposite later. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. It does kind of suck. I think Phil step up games. He fix them to make them look better. Do you think Xbox X kill PlayStation with better games? Well, Xbox hasn't proven that they can consistently make better games than PlayStation. PlayStation always puts out these really quality games for the most part. Microsoft's only quality games are Forza, Gears, and Halo. They need to prove that they can do something very, very quality first-party wise before anybody even talks about taking on Sony in any kind of way. I just feel like it's ridiculous to even mention that. Like, Sony is so far ahead of Microsoft right now, in my opinion, with the software side of things. They just get it. Joshua says, I think Phil step up games. Yeah, I don't know. More mobile games than Xbox, PlayStation together. Yeah, but a lot of those mobile games are just like little pissant games that nobody really cares about. It's like people play them while, they're at a bus stop or something, and then that's pretty much the end of it. So, we'll see how that kind of works out. Like I said, I'm excited to see what Microsoft has this E3. Hopefully you guys are too. With that being said, man, I'm going to answer 2 more questions and then I'm out. Steve says, we're taking Anaconda 14 T-flop machine so we can play crap games, make them for mobiles. Maybe. I don't know. I hope that I think most people on a phone aren't going to want to play big AAA games on their mobile phone, man. They want to play Candy Crush or, PUBG for a round or whatever, and that's it. So I think that's right. What do I think the next Xbox game will be? I don't know. I'm not sure, but when I do hear a rumor, I'll let you guys know. As you guys know, Xbox One X, I said that like 2 months before that even was announced, was right. So it was a lot of fun, So hopefully I can be right again. I like being right. I don't mind being wrong, but being right is great. So with that being said, please like this video, guys. I had a good time chatting with you guys. Share it out. Feel free to comment. Hit the bell so you're notified of everything as soon as it drops. You guys have been amazing. Very fun chat. Great stuff, man. Looking forward to Xbox Nation this Wednesday. It's going to be a great show. E3 got you covered, man. We're going to do a lot of stuff. What does Phil have to say to make me happy with Xbox again? Phil has to come out and say, here's a new AAA IP. Here's a new AAA IP. Here's a new AAA IP. And I think that'll about do it, guys. later, you guys. You guys all have a great day. It's been a fantastic one. Rack them up. We'll catch you later.